Hello, guys. Frankie Forsyth back here. As you can see, no mask anymore. It's been a while since I did a video. I think it's been about probably close to 8 months or a year. But I wanted to start doing my videos in a more structured manner. So, as you can see, we're in a different setting. I don't have the mask on, and we have a whiteboard here. This video is going to be about why women today are so masculine and men today are so feminine, and why this has kind of been constructed in this way by the elites, the people in power, the politicians, whatever you want to call it. So let's get started. To start, obviously, if you guys have seen this before, this is the symbol from Taoism, the yin yang symbol. So the yang right here, just label that yang and yin. These energies are energies within the subliminal world between, men and women, humans, and anything really when you look at the laws of Hermeticism and stuff like this. But the key here is that these two energies, and you can see this is a circle, right? Which signifies spirit. These two energies are always in balance. There's always, if the energy of yin is increasing, the energy of yang has to stay in balance with that. So, for example, today, the yang energy is the masculine, the positive. Positive is action, aggression, logic. The yin energy, negative, inaction, passive, emotional. It's more flowy. The positive is more rigid. Now, in today's world, this is what has happened. We have gone from a more equilibrious state into what is now, as you can see, in the yang. In the yang, we have a bit of the yin. And that's key to be harmonious. You need to have a little bit of feminine in the masculine to achieve enlightenment. In the yin, we have a little bit of the yang. But the problem is in today's world, we have an increasing amount of yin in the yang, and therefore, like I said, by the laws of Hermeticism, of polarity and duality, all things must balance, positive and negative. For however much positive there is an equal amount of negative. As above, so below, if you guys have heard that before. So, essentially what has happened, and this is an argument of kind of what came first, the chicken or the egg. The politicians, as you can see today, the politicians of today, they really lack masculine qualities and masculine ethics and principles. You can see the politicians like Donald Trump, obviously Hillary Clinton. I mean, she's a woman. Obviously, she's not going to have any masculine qualities, any natural masculine qualities. She can have acquired that, but that's a different story. Anyways, these politicians, especially in the U.S. and the West, they don't have. You don't see any stoic. That really for example, back in the day, the Stoics of Marcus Aurelius or Socrates, or even athletes that really, because that's another masculine thing, obviously masculine action, aggression, logic. There's no professors, philosophers, athletes. There's none of these people in the political atmosphere. So the problem is we have these feminine people in power, and they are pushing agendas on women because women are very susceptible to emotional control and emotional what's the word I'm looking for? Emotional manipulation. So these people in power, they end up manipulating the women through emotion, and like I said, the law of polarity and duality, this is instinctively going to make men more feminine. And this is how they get to destroy masculinity in men. Because negative is attracted to positive, yin is attracted to yang. So the more yang that women have in them, the more masculine energy that women have in them, men need to, because men are designed to procreate, men are the creative force. So men need to increase their yin energy, their feminine energy, their emotional energy to balance, as I said before, balance the amount of yang energy in modern day women. The amount of active, aggressive, I don't know about logical, but we'll skip that for now. I mean, you can say that logical because, I mean, look at the college graduation rates in women today. Much greater than men. And that's a topic for another video. But as you can see, the amount of yang in women has got to have a balance of yin in men. This is why men are feminine. Men are becoming more emotional than ever, inactive, passive, lack morals and ethics, addicted to countless amount of things. And addiction is emotional at the end of the day. Addiction is emotional. So, yeah, that's what's going on with that. But the greater question is, why is this happening? Why are they facilitating these things? So, the answer is kind of more esoterical, I guess you could say. And I myself don't know the entire answer. But I'm going to point to some key similarities between this and things of scriptures and such. So, this is also where you get modern day transgenderism and homosexuality, because, as you know, Satan is the author of lies. He's the author of confusion. He's the master of confusion. So when you confuse people into being more masculine, more feminine, and everybody's out of balance, some people might call this a chemical imbalance. Some people might call this mentally ill. But the reality is that people are confused by the author of lies. And when you're confused, you don't know what to do. You don't know whether you are a man or a woman, because your yin is increasing. If you're a woman, for example, your yang is increasing, your yin is decreasing. So your masculine and your feminine they should be like this if you're a woman, right? Your femininity should be up here, your masculinity should be down here. But the author of lies is the master of confusion, and this is how we get transgenderism, homosexuality, and a bunch of other whole list of perverse things. But yeah. So now I want to get onto this picture right here. I drew it as best as I could. You guys can obviously find better images online, but this is the Baphomet. Some people might call it Lucifer, Satan, Baal, Moloch, which some of those are probably not exactly the words you would want to use for this, but anyways, in the picture you can clearly see the Baphomet pointing up to a light colored moon, kind of like in the yin symbol, or the yang symbol rather, and pointing down to the dark moon, like the yin. And this, like I said, is the author of confusion. He's confusing the yang and the yin. And how is he doing this? Like I said, it's through the feminine. He's controlling this through the feminine. And what is the moon? In basically all scripture, lunar energy is feminine. And obviously the opposite of that would be the sun, the active principle, and that is masculine. But in this case, we have obviously the moon. He's pointing up to the light moon, down to the dark moon, confusing the energies, positive and negative. This is how you get transgenderism, homosexuality. And another point to make, in this picture, you can see that the Baphomet has a beard, well, the head of a goat, and boobs. So he is, I guess it is hermaphroditic, transgender, confusing of the mind, confusing of these energies that are naturally in the world, and obviously if they're in the world, they're in humans. So that's what causes transgenderism, homosexuality, and a whole list of other things. The Baphomet. And this picture also has, if you've seen the picture online, you guys can look it up. It also has a rod down here, which we'll probably get into in another video, of two serpents going up a rod, usually known as the caduceus. But that's a topic for another video, and that has some more dissection that needs to be done. But ultimately, the last thing I want to get into is, this is the most modern thing. I mean, these things have been known for ages, but the end goal for them is transhumanism. When they are able to do these things like Elon Musk wants to do, like implant this neurochip in your brain, things like this, that's when you ultimately get Hermes and Aphrodite, hermaphrodite. The male and the feminine are together. And honestly, that's probably optimal for them, right? Kind of like some plants are hermaphroditic, they can reproduce themselves. I don't know if some animals are. I'm sure there are some animals that can reproduce themselves and are kind of agendered. But, I mean, I think this is what they view as optimal for human development. They don't need to worry about balancing these energies. They have both of the energies in one. And yeah, this is where the question kind of stops, and I don't really have any more answers, but maybe we'll get back into this in another video. But this is why men today are so feminine, women today are so masculine. It's ultimately, like I said, a construction of the elites promoting things like feminism, things like destroying masculinity, making men weak, causing men to lack purpose because it's so difficult to, for example, like build a family today, find a good woman for things like that. And yeah, so that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Let me know if you have any questions, comments, or anything else, any other videos you guys want me to make. This was the first one I've done in a while. Let me know if you guys like this format too. And thank you. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.